My name is Shikha and I'm not an intellectual. In so many years of my existence, I've never thought about religion. I don't think about the religion of my colleagues. I don't think about the religion of my friends. I don't think about religion at all. But the industry that I am in, fortunately or unfortunately, only ever talks about religion. And the only religion they talk about, also happens to be my religion, is Hinduism. Yes, I'm talking about media industry, and I wonder why they single out Hinduism. It irks me that in this time and age, they speak about religion, and it should irk you too. But today, we are not talking about religion. Today, we are talking about the intellectual mafias. Yes, that is the word I use, who peddle such lies about Hinduism. For the sake of simplicity, let's divide these intellectual mafias into three categories: L1, L2, L3. Notice the word L and not R. It is also because they are left liberals. So let's start with the very basic, the lowest rung, the foot soldiers of higher ups, the L3s. They read very little, they know very little, but they get offended all the time. You tweet something they don't like and they attack you mercilessly. They also have this natural urge to give you gyan. They may not know the difference between Hinduism and Hindutva, but they want to educate you. And you find them everywhere. They're nameless, faceless, but they're everywhere. Their other peculiar property is they get distracted very soon. 1 minute they'll tell the government how to fix GDP, the other minute they see a picture of Taimur and get all distracted. Hence, you don't take them seriously. In fact, left to themselves, they're pretty harmless. But they're quite impressionable and they idealize L2s. And some of them graduate to being L2s, unlike the JNU students who have been graduating ever since. Now let's move a step higher. Let's talk about the bosses of L3s, the L2s. Here is a disclaimer. L2s can never be taken non-seriously. They are well read, or at least they can pretend to quote difficult terms, just so they sound intellectual. You discuss, they have a discourse. You see the difference here? They're also all celebrities in their own might, and they've been hired by intellectuals, good fellas, to further their cause. But we'll come to that later. Let's first discuss the characteristics of L2s. A, they're all armchair activists. B, they idealize Lenin and they quote Marx. Beat that. C, they're born with silver spoon, or a silver joint if you may, and they've taken it upon themselves to empower Hindu women or fix Hinduism. D, they call you intellectually dishonest the moment you call them out, or rustic Hindus if you point their mistakes. And since they have an army of L3s, they are super dangerous. A classic example of an L2 is a Shaila Rashid or a Swara Bhaskar or even Veer Das. You see, their intellectualism is limited, but they can all pretend smart. When a Shaila Rashid speaks, the entire JNU gets excited and asks for Azadi. So that's L2 for you. You still can deal with them as they're pretty hollow. Their masks come out the moment you have an actual discourse with them. Practice and you can beat them. Now that we have spoken about the less dangerous ones, let's talk about the real deals, the L1s. They are the good fellas we were talking about. They are both vindictive and smart. In fact, they are so well learned that you and I can't even catch their bluff. Their agenda is real, their technique is flawless, and their ethics are next to nil. They set the rules and you can't question them because they make you sound hollow. And whatever they say is the holy grail for L2 and L3. They rewrite our books, and the irony is, you and I have read the rather twisted history they decided to write for us. And now the million-dollar question. How do we deal with them? Truth be told, we can't. We have to first learn their game, observe them, counter them, and then beat them. And by now, they've penetrated all the very many industries. In my industry, they are the quintessential wired media houses. Scroll your mobile screens and you may spot them. Won't you agree, Mr. Einstein? And for fun's sake, here is a primer for you. You can use this to spot L1, L2 and L3s. And now that you have come this far, if you liked what you saw, like, share, subscribe NewsBytes. And next week, we're going to speak about you, my unoffended right Indian who is not an intellectual.